Here's my question. In the last year, the state legislature, there was a piece of legislation proposed wherein a $500 theft from a business or industry, it was at $499.99, was a non-crime. Are you familiar with that? Remember that?
Yeah. There was an effort to reduce it down. I think we did reduce it to $250. Yeah, but part of the concern there was, you know, my reaction to it is sort of like yours. You know, why do we give kids any unemployment at all? When we steal some money, why is it any different stealing $251 as opposed to stealing $249? You just shouldn't get it. Part of the concern there was that businesses would come, or employers would come forward and say, the person took the day off, you know, it's theft from my business, I ended up paying them, and therefore don't get an unemployment rather than firing. And said he was sick, and so I'm at the beach, you know. And so we're trying to do a balance on that. Yeah, it's good.
Commentary and then a question. You were talking about the voter fraud earlier, and with the Project Veritas coming in.
Right.
I've interviewed James O'Keefe, who's the founder of Project Veritas, and I interviewed him last night again. So a small plug here, if you want to hear what was talked about this morning.
It was James O'Keefe?
James O'Keefe, go to granitrock.com and listen to the interview. But he specifically said that he chose New Hampshire because of its first in the nation primary, and you alluded to that it's very embarrassing. And he said, what we do at Project Veritas is expose the seams where policy and government miss. And that was definitely a seam that he thought that should be highlighted, and that was exactly why he chose to do that video here. Now, he's also going to do other things in other places as well. But if you look at all of the other exposés that he's done with Medicaid, the teachers, Acorn and all of those, this is just another place where he feels that government has a problem, it has a loophole, and that's why he did that. And also, I don't know whether it was you or DJ who said that, you know, talked about the out-of-staters who came in to do the videos. I will tell you, I know who the voices are who were at the ballot boxes. They're not out-of-staters. So I just thought I would put that out there.
I don't think it makes any difference, you know, really.
Right, but you see it from the left that people are saying, well, those out-of-staters, well, they weren't.
Well, yeah, it's just a matter of means of distracting us.
Right.
Yeah, whether they broke the law or not, from our perspective, from a legislative perspective, from a public policy point of view, makes no difference. They've exposed, as you put it, a real weakness in our voting system that we need to address. Yeah. But I have an opinion. I don't think they broke the law, as far as I can see. I think they were very careful.
My question.
But, you know, that's not our request.
Right. Skip, if I could add one thing to that.
Sure.
You know, for the folks who are attacking the individuals who expose this problem, those same folks, I'd be willing to bet pretty good money. If these guys came in with a camera and went into a business, right, the evil big businesses that we hear about all the time, if they were in there filming some bad practices in that business, or the business owner treating their employees badly, okay, you know, if they were in there doing that, the same people who are criticizing what these folks did to expose that voter fraud would be applauding the people harassing the businesses. So there's a tremendous hypocrisy in this discussion.
My question goes and follows along the motor voter question that was asked earlier is it possible to move the state to a closed primary instead of the open one that we have now, which would also help to reduce the size of that seam, but also for both parties say, if you really belong to this party, you are the ones who get to determine your candidates going forward, and not as what has happened this year, I believe, and what Rush Limbaugh did with his Operation Chaos in the last cycle, getting people to vote in other parties' primaries. I really do believe that, as Sankar said, as the vote should be, of the integrity of my vote should be held. I also look at it from the party standpoint. Democrats should really, true blue, the Democrats should pick their candidate, and true red Republicans ought to be picking their candidate.
I agree with you. My understanding is that 47% of the voters in the primary on the Republican side are unaffiliated voters. It's hard to call that a Republican primary.
Right.
And that bothers me. I'll give a little personal plug. Back in 2005, I worked hard, and I still remember it was House Bill 154. House Bill 154, which I did get past the House, would have done, which said, if you vote in a Republican primary or a Democratic primary, you stay with the party until the general election's over. You can't leave until the general election's over. The party who its nominees are going to be, then stay with that party. We passed it out of the House, a good strong vote. It was killed in the Senate by Republicans who said, no, we can't corral people into parties. I think we ought to have party primaries that are limited to party members. And certainly it's an opportunity to get unaffiliated voters to join us. But if you join us, stay with us through the next election.
Unfortunately, all good things come to a close, and time is up for our conference. And I'd like to thank Mr. Bedford, Mr. O'Brien, and Pam Becker.
Croc TV.